and welcome to Fruitful Minute. I'm Michelle Wong from the Fruitful Yield digital marketing team, and again, I am joined with my sister, Naturopathic Dr. Sarah Hoong.
Hi everyone, so great to be back again.
Yeah, and it's so great to have you. So today we are going to be talking about immune support foods, all of the foods that we can take that support our immunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is so important because everything that we eat affects us at a cellular level. It affects our genetics. It affects the energy or ATP we produce. It affects every system in our body, and that includes our digestive system, which can sometimes be seen as a first-line defense against when it comes to our immune system, as well as our immune system itself, the immune cells. All these things are affected by the foods that we eat and the things that we drink.
Absolutely. So it's kind of like the same philosophy, like Hippocrates, let food be thy medicine.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of the thought that food can either be very nourishing or it can have the opposite effect. It can have a harmful effect on our bodies.
Yeah, so thank you for that. You had two concepts that you wanted to kind of talk about today, and that is immune support superheroes and immune support supervillains when it comes to food. So I
Yeah.
think for immune support superheroes, our first one is fresh chicken broth.
Yeah, and fresh chicken broth is great because it's one of those homemade recipes that have been in most families for a very long time. There's actually been a lot of research into why we tend to feel better when we have chicken soup if we're not feeling well. And one is that it has an effect on mucus. It's been shown to help drain nasal fluids as a result of being a hot liquid, but also because it contains carnosine, which is a compound specifically found in chicken broth. So inflammation is actually very important. When we get ill, it causes white blood cells to migrate to the area of infection. However, this migration of white blood cells can also produce some unpleasant symptoms such as runny nose, congestion. And so fresh chicken broth can kind of help with some of these symptoms.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So it's very soothing for the body, not only like the feeling of the broth being nice, like a soothing steam for the sinuses and going down the throat, but it also has that nutritional value. For a lot of people who might be a little bit lazy, we might buy it from our stores like already made. So we do have some different options for that, but always just like checking the label to see where you're getting the most nutrients. Is it bone broth? So something to think about.
Yeah, I think the Fruitful Yield has some really great selections in regards to that in the frozen section as well as other sections of the store. I was also going to say too, a really good recipe to make chicken broth very easily is you take a few chicken leg quarters, preferably organic, grass-fed. That's the best as far as nutrient profile.
Yeah.
Add, a couple of quarts of water, boil it between 3 to 6 hours. Add the vegetables of your choice, maybe some high antioxidant vegetables of different colors and flavors, some onion and garlic. You've got yourself a real feel-good recipe.
Definitely. I feel like you've made this for me before, actually.
Yeah, I think so. Also, you can add a little bit of shiitake mushroom too, and there are certain components in the shiitake mushroom that can be very beneficial as well.
Ooh, thanks for that. So next we are moving on to onion and then like the onion garlic combination. What can you tell us about onion and garlic?
Gladly. Onion has been shown to be high in a compound called quercetin. This is actually a flavonoid. So they're very beneficial for fighting free radicals when we get sick. In addition to this, quercetin has been shown to help protect the digestive tract lining. So this is very important for first-line defense. Onion is also a great source of vitamin C. So together they make a great compound for supporting the immune system.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and then garlic has actually these sulfur-containing derivatives that support the body before and during upper respiratory infections. People that include a lot of fresh garlic in their diet have been shown to have less incidences of getting sick and recover quicker. So one great recipe for this is actually, I believe, from Korea. You can take 1 to 2 cups of fresh garlic and a cup of boiling water with honey to taste. I know that sounds a little bit different, but it's not too bad. And then you can add the white portion of green onion bulbs to the boiling water as well, and perhaps some fresh ginger. And it's definitely something different, but worth a try.
Yeah, that sounds like something that I would just kind of like hold my nose and drink it really quick if I was sick, you know? So sometimes it might not taste the best. You might not be used to something, but sometimes it's good to just bite the bullet and feel better quicker. So
Kind of like taking a shot for your health. I think there's an old saying that says something like, the worse it tastes, the better it is for you.
Yeah, I don't know who that person is, but we'll go with it for today. All right, so next up we have turmeric, which is widely recognized for supporting healthy inflammation levels. So what else can you tell us about the lovely, delicious, utilized in a lot of Indian cuisine turmeric?
Ooh, yeah, well, when you put it that way, it sounds like I want some more of that right now.
Absolutely.
Kind of like what you were mentioning, Michelle, about supporting healthy inflammation levels. This is actually so important for our immune system. And the reason for this is while a small amount of inflammation is important for supporting a healthy body, chronic inflammation and widespread inflammation can lead to many chronic health problems. It can lead to more frequent infections, issues with blood sugar, such as diabetes, and even autoimmunity when our immune system is actually working too hard and actually producing negative effects on our own body. Interestingly, turmeric has been shown to have an effect on bacteria and viruses. There's a great study called Exploring the Molecular World of Turmeric, an alternative in treatment of chronic inflammation. This is a great study that can be checked out in PubMed.
Yeah, definitely. So whenever I'm having turmeric, I usually put it in one of my spice combinations over some roasted potatoes. I'll also try it fresh turmeric, which we sell in store, all organic, by the way, with our fresh ginger. So I'll actually juice those together with some apple slices, also juiced. And then in the end, I whisk in a little bit of cinnamon. And it's just like very sweet and spicy. It's a very nice like autumn flavor. So to combine a lot of those healthy ingredients.
Yeah, hopefully I would love to try it sometime.
Yeah, and I would love to bring you some. So maybe later.
Cool, that'd be great.
Yeah, speaking of ginger, that is actually our next immune support superhero.
All right. Well, ginger actually works very well with turmeric, as it's been shown to actually increase the absorption of turmeric, similar to black pepper. So they're very great together. As you were mentioning, I know you love to juice the two herbs together, and I personally like to make a tea. It's probably not as tasty as your juice, but it's pretty easy. You take 2 tablespoons each of chopped up turmeric and ginger. The more finely sliced, the better. You can steep it in boiling water between 15 to 30 minutes. Add some raw honey, which can also be beneficial for the immune system, and have a taste after that. It's actually not too bad.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
And then ginger actually in a lab study has been shown to act as a barrier and help keep certain viruses from attaching to cells. So another one of those great spices and superfoods that can be very beneficial if you're worried about your immune health.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so next up we have kale and other dark leafy greens. We think about like the richness that you see in those leaves. Well, things that are brightly colored like that actually usually end up being very nutritious for us.
Oh, absolutely. As Michelle mentioned, dark leafy greens are probably one of the most nutrient-dense foods in existence. They contain nutrients like beta carotene, vitamin C, magnesium, which is responsible for hundreds of biochemical reactions in our body, and B vitamins. B vitamins actually help healthy growth of our immune cells, and vitamin C and beta carotene are potent antioxidants. Those help with free radicals that we produce when we get sick, so that can help with some of the symptoms and preventing those free radicals from being too harmful when we get sick. Dark leafy greens, they have quite an array of benefits, and they also have fiber, which is very important for our gastrointestinal health and you our healthy microflora, which can help kickstart our immune system as well.
Definitely. And along with helping so many different processes in the body, there are also so many different kinds of kale and dark leafy greens. So we have like curly kale, we have dinosaur kale. There's really something for everybody and for every kind of recipe that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Right, so next up we have carrots, bell peppers, and sweet potatoes, all those different veggies in the orange family, the color family.
And so orange vegetables are very famous for being high in beta carotene, although dark leafy greens have quite an ample amount of it as well. And so beta carotene later gets converted into an active form of vitamin A later in our bodies. Beta carotene in particular has been shown to support immune function of monocytes, which are a special type of white blood cell, as well as T inducer lymphocytes, which help our adaptive immune system.
Yeah, definitely. So all the different white blood cells, and white blood cells do play an important role in immunity. How exactly do they do that?
Well, white blood cells exist in our bloodstream, and they have the specific role of fighting infections. Some of them will bring particular viruses or bacteria to places where, to certain places of our body where they can be dealt with. And some of them directly attack pathogens, viruses, or bacteria.
Absolutely. So moving on to our next immune support superheroes, we have sauerkraut, which is really famous in German culture and in Polish culture. And then we also have kimchi, made famous by the Korean culture. So it really supports people's immunity. And then also the probiotics that it contains are very beneficial.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I love about these foods in particular is just that there's so many cultures out there that this is a part of their typical meals.
Yeah.
And it's a cultural expression as well as just being great for the immune system, great for the digestive system. So sauerkraut and kimchi, they're both fermented with lactic acid. And this in particular has been shown to act on a protein that exists on immune cells called HCA3 receptors. And this has been shown to have a activating effect on these immune cells. So that's really great to know. Kimchi additionally has the additional benefit of containing vinegar and ginger and garlic, which, as we mentioned, have their own benefits. So there have actually been lab studies, if you can believe it. It's just so interesting that there are actually studies done in Korea that show the benefit of kimchi. This was actually a study done in 2018 that can be also looked at on PubMed.
Absolutely. So for I know for sauerkraut, we do carry that by the Wild Brine brand. And then we also do carry kimchi. So yeah, just be on the lookout for all these different delicious things in store. And also for fresh produce, a lot of the different things that we mentioned, we do carry. And all of our produce is organic. So that's something that I really like and appreciate about our produce section. All right, next we have immune support supervillains. Dr. Hoong, what can you tell us about the immune support supervillains that we want to avoid for immune?
Well, the three main ones that I'm going to be talking about today are gluten, dairy, and processed sugar.
And why'd you pick these guys?
Well, I know they're very tasty, but we're going to talk a little bit about the research behind these three foods. So dairy in particular, it contains a protein known as casein. And casein A1 is broken down into a compound known as beta-casomorphine 7. And in certain individuals, particularly individuals that have sensitivity to dairy, this has been shown to be detrimental to their immune function, increasing susceptibility to ear infections, allergies, skin rashes, and even eczema. So that can be an issue for certain individuals.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then gluten, it's also an immune supervillain. It's been shown in certain individuals to actually damage our intestinal lining. It's a very delicate tissue, about only 1 cell thick. And this can lead to inflammation, causing an increase of toxins and pathogens entering our bloodstream. So this can have a chronic impact on our health as well. And the last 50 years, gluten has been genetically modified to have more gluten than in the past. And additionally, gluten has been shown, wheat products in particular, gluten is also found in barley and rye, but wheat products in particular have been shown to have high levels of a pesticide known as glyphosate. And this is shown to be especially damaging to our intestinal lining.
Yeah, so that's something good to note. So even per se, if somebody wasn't like allergic to dairy or allergic to gluten or allergic to sugar, it might still not be beneficial for their immune system.
It may still not be beneficial. Of course, every individual is different, and some people may not be sensitive at all and be able to eat anything they want. But of course, that those individuals are rare, and it does also speak to the importance of sourcing. Organic grass-fed dairy is going to have quite a different nutrient profile than conventional dairy. Cows that were fed bovine hormone, and in regards to gluten, you could have very processed wheat products that could have higher amounts of glyphosate in them. However, organic sprouted wheat might be lower in them and may not have as high of gluten content. So something to keep in mind.
Definitely. Now talk to me about possibly the most addictive immune supervillain. Talk to me about processed white sugar.
Yeah, so this is a huge immune supervillain, and there are quite a few studies that have demonstrated its detrimental effects on the immune system, but I'm going to focus just on one. And this is a 2018 study that showed that people that ate processed sugar, in this study, it was about 40 grams of sugar a day, which you could easily get from drinking soda.
Yeah, that's 1 can of soda.
Right, exactly. And so these individuals were shown over a long period of time to have higher levels of an inflammatory marker known as C-reactive protein, or CRP.
Yeah, that's really scary. I think heart disease is really prevalent these days, especially if a heart disease runs in your family. It might be something that you want to keep in mind. We all got to watch that sugar, but especially for those of us that have heart disease in our heritage and in our lineage, got to keep an eye on that sugar.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And another interesting study, I won't get too much in detail, but there have been studies that have shown that up to 5 hours afterwards of consuming up to 40 grams of sugar, white blood cells were actually shown to have decreased function. So that is another thing to keep in mind as well when it comes to white processed sugar.
Absolutely. So for all of these things, it's really good to keep that blood sugar level regulated, especially if somebody was concerned about that. So for all of these things, you can talk to your doctor about, get your levels, all of your vitamin levels tested, but also what's your blood sugar? That's good to think about. So I think you had a recipe that you wanted to share. That's the rainbow salad recipe. And then I think we're going to close up for today.
All right. Well, a really delicious salad that has a lot of the ingredients we talked about today is a rainbow salad. And pretty much what you can do is you can take a grain, a healthy grain such as wild rice or organic quinoa. You can find that at the store.
Yeah.
You can cook that and then mix it with some chopped up organic veggies. You can do bell peppers, kale, all those antioxidant rich vegetables, shredded carrots, combining them all together. And then for the dressing, you can do fresh lemon juice, you can do a clove of garlic, which we talked about the benefits of earlier, and some fresh extra virgin olive oil. And so that can be a very tasty way to get lots of immune boosting nutrients right there.
Yeah, I hope you bring this salad the next time you come over.
Well, as long as you bring that turmeric ginger apple smoothie.
We'll see. All right, so we're going to close up for today. Thank you so much, Dr. Hung, again for joining us. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. We have a lot of live videos that have been going out in the past on our Facebook videos and on our Instagram IGTV. Hopefully we'll see you at one of our 13 Chicagoland store locations or on the next Fruitful Minutes. We'll see you guys later.
All right, take care, guys. See you later.